my name is Ingrid Pitterich, and this video is intended to present a historical context that includes education laws and policies relating to students with disabilities. This video is intended for parents, general education teachers, special education teachers, and even students. We'll begin with a brief overview of special education. Special ed is intended to educate students in a way that addresses their specific needs. The purpose of special education is to build and enhance a student's strengths, but also identify their weaknesses. For example, students who struggle with math, the program will provide support for that specific issue they have to help them to succeed on that area. Taking a moment to learn about special education history in the United States will help us understand where the families of students are coming from and help give a clearer panorama of where the industry has been and where it has yet to go. The history of special education was a long journey. Parents of children with disabilities had a few options prior to laws being enacted. Before the 1970s, there were a lot of children with disabilities that were not getting the education they needed. This was a dark period in special education history because millions of children were denied adequate education opportunities. In the early 1970s, multiple landmark court decisions gave the state the responsibility to provide special education resources and schooling to students in need. Before the 1970s, disabled children were excluded from education and placed in institutions similar to schools. To now, children are protected by law. Here, I will present two court cases examples and how students with disabilities have won court battles. And these are judicial decisions. One is there's many out there, but we're just gonna focus on two very known decisions. One is Board of Education versus Amy Rowley in 1982, and the second one is Wickelman versus Parma City School District. So the first example case we're gonna see is the Board of Education versus Amy Rowley in 1982, and it's about a student who was deaf and was denied deaf language interpreters. The Board of Education claimed that Amy was achieving educationally, academically, and socially. And the reason why Amy was succeeding in the beginning was because she was able to read lips. And she was trained to do that even before she began school. But the school argued that she was still being educated and she was receiving equal education opportunity. But the parents argued that she was not achieving to her full potential. And so Amy's parents contested the first decision that the court did, and the district court at the end ruled in favor of Amy and said that the school was not giving her appropriate education. So that was a good case where because of Amy and her parents, other students with the same problem are being helped during our times. The second core example that we are gonna quickly review here, it's about a 6-year-old with autism. And this is Jacob Winkelman versus Parma City School District in 2007. The issue here is whether or not a parent should be able to act as an advocate for their child in court. Jacob's parents claim that their son was denied a free, appropriate public education as required by the Individual with Disabilities Education Act by the school district due to the placement of Jacob into a public elementary school. The parents wanted to place Jacob in a private school and wanted to be reimbursed for their expenses. The district court ruled in favor of the school district because the parents were not able to represent themselves in court. So they didn't have a lawyer. They wanted to represent themselves, but the court wouldn't take them as advocates. But the parents appealed that decision at the Supreme Court level. and the Supreme Court reversed the decision in favor of the parents. So the court ruled that the IDEA gives the parents enforceable rights in the administrative state of dispute, so they should have the same rights in federal court. So this is a great example too, that the parents are the ones who spend time with their children. The parents know what they're going through. The parents know what they need. And so this is another case where the parents are able to advocate for their children. And this was just a quick review of how special education law began right before like the 1970s, and how it has changed it with time to our time. And some recommended resources that I have here for parents, for teachers, for students, for caregivers. Here in the state of Arizona, there's plenty of information out there that you can get from the internet. But one of the most important ones that can help teachers and parents understand the programs available for their students or their children is the Arizona Department of Education under the tab Exceptional Student Services. And that can be found on the website, the Arizona Department of Education. The second one I have is Seek Arizona. Seek Arizona offers programs and services for children with disability, but also for the parents and for the caregivers, and from occupational speech and physical therapy to developmental, inclusive, and direct care support services. Also, we have the MIVI Arizona. There they practice an emphasis on verbal behavior, communication, and early intervention. They integrate research-based strategies with intense personal attention to provide therapy that's engaging, flexible, and customized for children's needs. And the last one I have is Raising Special Kids. Raising Special Kids exists to improve the lives of children with the full range of disabilities, from birth all the way to age 26. And they provide support, training, information, and individual assistance, so families can become effective advocates for their children. And this was just a quick overview of special education laws. Thank you for watching.